Hello, welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz, and I will be guiding you on this journey today. This is the reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, wherever Pisces shows up for you, of course. And is there anything else? I don't think so, but how are you guys doing? Tell me. We just had that Saturn and Mars conjunction in Pisces last week. Yeah. So how was that for you? Did you notice anything? It's too many cards? Any shifts happening? Let's get you an oracle card, and then of course we'll get your tarot out. I'm kind of laughing because, so what does it say? Deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held. You have Neptune in Pisces right now too. Like Neptune's been in Pisces for a while. So there's a lot, that's like gone through Pisces in the last however long, right? So I can understand this need to just cool it for a little bit. And if that does mean retreating, like taking baths, being in water, of course, just because, you're a water sign, and allowing that to purify, to wash away. I keep hearing like the bigger the better too. So like, if you have, how many cards is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the exact number of cards that we need. So that's cool. We have the Magician at the bottom of the deck. Beautiful. I haven't even turned these cards over yet. But yeah, I keep hearing like the bigger the better. So like if you have access to a pool or a spa or hot springs was coming through too, but it feels like more of a feeling of like having more space for your like emotions to spread out. Like in a bathtub, you're kind of confined. I mean, granted, if that's what you have access to, that's perfect. But it's like allowing your emotions, your feelings to be almost kind of like boundless for however long you have the time in whatever body of water it is. Because instead of like just kind of keeping them close, letting them float too. Ooh. Actually, if you even have access to one of those floating, like if you have those float centers in your area where, they use like 800 pounds of salt in this little like pod and you literally float. It's at zero gravity or like sensor depravity, like something. And it's like literally you're in this pod and you're just floating. That would be good too. So let's see. We have the 3 of Pentacles. We have the 3 of Swords. 2 of Pentacles. That's interesting. 2 of Swords. We have literally 2s and 3s out here. Okay. 7 of Cups. I was going to say. And then 5 of Cups. And then, like I said, we have the Magician at the bottom of the deck. The 8 of Swords. The 5 of Wands. The 10 of Swords. This feels like, and then the 9 of Cups. This feels tough. I also feel like it's really interesting how the majority of the cards that we have here are 2s and 3s. It really does feel like a time of, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm waiting for it to be dropped into my consciousness, because it's like the building up of or restructuring or reconstruction. Those are the words that are being dropped down. It feels like they're like literally being thrown. at me, but reorganization. Like I feel like I keep using corporate terms too, like corporate jargon, you know? Let's see what this deep replenishment card says. So, the most selfless thing you can do is fill up your own inner well. When we are running around half filled, we subconsciously look to things and people around us to give us the nourishment and nurturing that we so deeply crave. Nothing can grow in barren lands. You are no good to anyone if you're running on empty. The feminine is bountiful, fertile, and rich. Tend to your own well and watch as the amount you have to give multiplies. If your inner well isn't full, you will find yourself craving things from the outside world to fill it. This is your body's instinctive way of reaching for the grounding and nurturing that we are not allowing ourselves. What nourishes you? Oh, that's a question. What nourishes you? What refuels your body? What is nectar for your soul? What brings you back to life? What is your secret medicine? What makes you feel abundant and fertile? Overspilling with life. It may be gardening, arranging flowers, getting a massage, using luxurious essential oils, snuggling up on the couch, hiking, sipping a good coffee at your favorite cafe, attending a women's circle, reading about sacred sites, spontaneous bike rides, walking along the beach, or yin yoga. What nourishes you is your medicine. When you give yourself the medicine that you need to be nourished, you nourish all around you, and for there is more than enough to go around. I love that. Especially too, because like I said, you know, it appears to be a time of something because I feel like every word that I used before had RE in front of it. So, rearranging, which to me it's like going back and revisiting. What other RE words like can I use, you know? So let's get into the reading. We start with the Three of Pentacles. And the Three of Pentacles talks about collaboration. It's working with others, clearly. We can see that on this card. Right? Pentacles have to do with money, how we get it, how we save it, how we spend it. It's our time. Where are we spending our time? Where are we physically showing up in our lives? It's also our physical body and our health. It's anything that we place value and worth on, the possessions that we have, the home that we live in, the car that we drive, blah, blah, you know, right? All those things. And threes are also at the beginning of the journey through the Pentacles cards. So that's, you know, again, that's also why those RE words kept coming up, because twos and threes are still at the beginning of the journey of whatever suit they're talking about. So it's like gathering materials, gathering, you know, the right people. It could be finding like the right contractors, for some reason is coming to mind. Even like contracts. It doesn't specifically have to be three people too. It's just the Three of Pentacles. So there's going to be three people in it. But there is this, it's like working towards the same goal, but like everybody has their part. Everybody has their job or their assignment or whatever you want to call it. But there's one goal that everybody is working towards. So you could be looking for people to work with, in whatever capacity that is, whether that is a job, whether that's a project that you're doing, whether it's, you know, friendships or something along those lines. It is interesting. We have it paired with the Two of Swords, which is indecision. This more so feels like not wanting to like choose the wrong thing. It really is like almost kind of placing too much expectation on the thing, or even like FOMO is more of, you know, it's like being afraid that you're going to miss out on something, which obviously, I mean, that's FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. I feel like I wanted to put that a different way, and it came out literally just a repeat. But swords have to do with our mindset. It's our ideas, our beliefs, how we're communicating those things. I also see swords as the suit of ego, because that's generally where we hear our ego is in our minds. And our ego is created by the stories that we attach to experiences, to feelings, and it becomes the reason why we do things and why we don't do things. It's that filter that our reality and experiences and feelings like goes through in order for us to come up with a story of what's happening, right? So again, twos are at the beginning. This is, we start with the ace, then we move on to two, then we move on to three. Right? So the Ace of Swords is like a new idea, new inspiration. Swords also have to do with truth and honesty. So it could be discovering a new truth. It could be some sort of honesty coming in. And the Two of Swords is like, now what do I do with that? Right? Like maybe it's even something that it goes against like what you thought you believed in, or what you thought was like possible, because they're blindfolded for one. There's these crows that are just squawking in her ear, right? I mean, that feels like, to me, if this was me, I would feel totally overstimulated and kind of just discombobulated, right? I mean, I would just be swatting, like, get away from me, We can also see back here that there are two paths, but she has her back to them. So it's hard to tell, like, is she trying to make a decision between those two paths? Did she just come off of one of those paths and is kind of feeling, like I said, FOMO, like, I kind of wish I would have taken the other path? Well, yeah, but even if you did take the other path, you would have been wishing that you would have been on the path that you just came off of. So there's like no winning with that type of mindset. And with it paired with the Three of Pentacles, it's like, wanting to find the right collaborators. And maybe you just haven't been satisfied with the options that you've had. Maybe you feel pressure to make a decision on that too, because that pressure could be making you feel like this, which is all the more reason to get into some water, even in the shower. Like, if the shower is the best thing that you have to a body of water, it's literally like standing with intention under your shower head and allowing, just whatever these crows represent, whether that's pressure, whether that's just an uneasy mind, whether it's, the too many decisions, whatever it is, it's like literally setting the intention that the water is just going to wash those things away. And also the purpose of doing that is so that you can hear your own intuition, because you're a Pisces. You have one of the best intuitions. So but what happens is our ego gets in our way, and we start, instead of like listening to our body, listening to our heart, listening to our intuition, it's, we start being all up in our heads, and it's what if, and it's also trying to even intuit all of the ways that something could happen or unfold, but that's also based on old shit. Like, I know that it's going to go this way because it went that way in the past. Well, sure, like, that's definitely experience. However, you learned from that. So it doesn't have to be the way that things always go. And especially too, if they were, devastating in a certain capacity, whatever that is for you. Because the Three of Swords, I mean, look at this person. Anyway, right? The Three of Swords is about rejection, disappointment, betrayal. And especially too, it's coming after the Two of Swords. So again, it's like all of this mind stuff, mental gymnastics, like it really does take up way too much energy. And it also even, I'm just kind of hearing in my head, it like takes the fun out of things. If we're like in this type of energy and we're just attached to like some old stuff, like an old situation, an old experience, it takes away from, for one, being in the present, and for two, fun. Also, the Three of Swords, like I said, it does speak to disappointment, rejection, heartbreak, even, but it's how those things live in our minds. What stories have we attached to those experiences, like literally attached, because we can see these strings attached to this heart here. And, who knows what those strings are actually attached to, but for me, I see it as being attached to like old experiences. Remembering that one time that, that you were so disappointed because something didn't go the way that you wanted it to, or you felt betrayed in some capacity, or, you know what I mean? But it's time to cut those cords. Cut it out. If you're old enough to know where that comes from. And it's interesting because it's paired with the Seven of Cups, which is options. I mean, we have these 7 cups here that are turned over, and it looks like this guy is really thinking about, really considering which cup to choose, right? But cups have to do with our emotions and our heart center. I see the 7 of Cups as like the Marie Kondo effect of, if it feels good, keep it. If it doesn't, let it go or shelve it. Because the 7 of Cups, they're going through each one of the cups, and they are determining, like, do I want to make this a priority? Does it feel good? Does it not feel good? This can also be a thing of having too many options, where again, it just is kind of overwhelming, which is all the more reason to, again, like really get into your Pisces feels without the mind stuff and truly listen to what feels good and what doesn't. Your intuition isn't going to lie to you. Your ego is. Fear is. Doubt is. Intuiting the future based on a past experience is also a lie. We have options. We have even choices, right? It's like, how do you want to feel about things going forward? How do you want to even feel about the people that you're working with? Oh, God. And really not thinking about it too much. Obviously, I'm not saying like be impulsive. Nothing like that. But it's, once we get to this point, it's hard to make a really clear decision from that. And it's interesting too, because we go on to the Two of Pentacles, which is balance. This is also juggling. So again, it's a 2. We already started with the Ace of Pentacles. I know it's not out on the table, but the Ace of Pentacles is a new opportunity, a gift, some sort of monetary something or other. And the Two of Pentacles is, okay, like, how am I going to incorporate this into my life? And this is, even just the ebbs and flows of our daily responsibilities and adulting, right? And truly it is like fitting the thing in. So even, through this process, there could be some sort of balance coming in. Even, I know that's a pentacle, but this looks like the sun to me, just in this illustration. And the feeling that I was getting when I was looking at it, because the sun card in tarot is like one of the best cards, right? It's like, it's joy, it's bliss, it's rejuvenation, rebirth, right? It's like deep healing. I mean, truly, we wouldn't exist on this planet without our relation to the sun, right? And it looks like they have this rope tied around it. So again, it's like following your joy, following your bliss, which I know probably sounds kind of like eye roll, but truly, like, we really can make a decision of how we are going to treat every situation in our lives, right? And if you choose to approach your whatever the situation is for you with a rope around the sun, just kind of dragging that joy with you, like, just make it fun, right? Like, I mean, you want to be able to say that the process, yeah, it might have been tough. There were times where it was really, kind of annoying and whatever, but overall, it was a good experience. And I was able to fit it into my life, and it didn't disrupt everything else around me. Which would also mean that you kind of have to like let go of the feelings of disappointment, past stuff. The Five of Cups is about mourning, grief, depression. It's interesting because usually on the Five of Cups, there's 3 cups that are turned over and there's 2 cups left. And the message with the Five of Cups is the focus is on these 3 cups over here, but we're forgetting that we still have the 2 cups left. So it's like, realizing that all is not lost. But what's interesting in this card is that there's 1 cup left. So even with it being next to the 7 of Cups, it's literally, even like I was saying with the 7 of Cups, it's going through and, seeing what feels good, what doesn't feel good, literally letting go of what does not feel good to you. And I feel like Pisces knows. You know what feels good, you know what doesn't. The problem most times is that our head gets in the way. And even too, like maybe we feel, those adult responsibilities kind of creeping in and just standing there like, hello, remember us? But there's this 1 full cup back there, and that is exactly all that you need. Speaking of ego, I hope this is even making sense. Like my ego just kicked in and was like, what have you even been talking about? But, I flow where the energy takes me as long as it feels good. And it has. We have the Magician at the bottom of the deck, even this pool of water, right? And the Magician card, first of all, it's a 1, right? So I just think that's so interesting. I do not think I've ever had a reading like this where the majority of the cards were 2s and 3s. Maybe you're seeing 333 or 222 around also. But so the Magician is a 1. We started with a Fool. The Fool has taken the leap. So that's already happened. The Magician is like, okay, like, now what do I do? Right? And this is like calling on your current skill set to help you get to where you want to go. The Magician says that you have exactly what you need in order to manifest the thing that you are trying to do. So a lot of us seem to get like hung up on, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough energy, I don't have enough emotional or mental capacity, whatever the case may be, right? And the Magician is like, nope, you have exactly the right amount for what you're trying to do. And I always also kind of think of Harry Potter when I see the Magician, because specifically the Sword of Gryffindor, because that shows up to whoever needs it at exactly the time that they need it for exactly the purpose that they need it for. Right? And that's a Magician card. So you have exactly what you need to get started, to do the thing. And whatever you end up needing along the way will show up for you for the exact purpose that you need it and the exact amount of time that you need it for. So don't let that hold you back. And then we have the Eight of Swords, which, again, it's our mind getting in the way. This is a self-inflicted mind prison. This is, thinking that you're stuck, you're trapped. But again, it's like, it's what the mind does. And it's the stories that we attach to experiences. And we have the ability to choose. Like I was saying with that, it looking like there's that rope tied around the sun here. We have the ability to choose what we want to experience mentally and physically. Maybe it even will be I feel like at the beginning I said that this, feels tough. Maybe it will be a tough journey. And of course, there's going to be times where it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows, right? But it's also like remembering that those times are temporary too. The times that are not rainbows and sunshine are temporary also. And again, even getting back, like really connecting to your intuition. We have the Five of Wands, which is conflict, competition. This also feels like you're ready for this. Like you with the experience that you've had thus far in life in general has equipped you to win. The Ten of Swords. Moving forward, this feels more calm. Tens are completion. And then the Nine of Cups after that is wish fulfillment. Ooh, and then the Ace of Pentacles. So I hope that made sense, and I am going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.